Good morning, my dear students. I am Dr. Nitish Arora, Assistant Professor, Marketing Retail Operations, Chitkara School of Business Studies, Himachal Pradesh. In today's session, we are going to discuss about what is retail and what is the definition of retail, and we'll be discussing about the evolution of retail as well. And in this particular session, we'll be focusing on what is the right qualities a person should have to be a retail person, right? What companies are looking for, and what is the evolution under which we are going to discuss how retail has evolved. I'm sure you have heard about the places where only barter system takes place. From there, nowadays we are talking about what is hypermarket, what is supermarkets. So complete evolution we are going to discuss in this particular session. So let's understand what is retailing. Let's see the definition given by Philip Kotler. So retailing includes all the activities involved in selling of goods and services directly to the final consumer for personal or non-business use. This definition is given by Philip Kotler. So what it means that whenever retailing is happening, the person who is selling the products is selling to the final consumer. It means if you are selling to any organization, it doesn't count as a retailer. So ultimately, whenever you are selling to the final consumer, maybe let's take example of final consumer. So if you are selling to your friend from a shop, a retailer or a shopkeeper is selling to your friend, is selling to your mother, is selling to your father. In fact, he is selling to you. That becomes a final retailing thing, because the person or the retailer is selling to the customer and he is going to use for himself or for family. He is not going to sell it to some other person. So this is the basic idea of retailing. That's why we are saying it's a non-business or the non-business activity, because we are directly selling to the customer. Then there is retailing is the sale of goods and services to the ultimate consumer for personal, family and household use. As I said, that whenever retailing is happening, retailing basic idea is breaking the bulk. Means if an organization is producing something, a factory is producing some product in a bulk quantity, maybe company is producing 1,000 units. So thousands units you cannot directly sell to a final consumer, because the requirement is maybe one or two. So if you are doing that, that means you are not doing the great thing. Okay? To manage that, because whenever in families, households, we require products in a limited number. We cannot purchase 10 bags of rice for 1 month. Same way, so whenever companies are selling products, they're sending it to the distributors. Then distributors, they're sending it to retailers. So what retailers are doing, they're breaking the bulk. If they are getting 10 products, right? So what they are doing, they are breaking those products into one or two products and they finally selling it to the final consumers. So this is the basic idea behind the retailing. Retailing involves more than selling tangible products. It includes every sale of goods and services to the final consumers. So now again, a third point is, so whenever you are doing retailing, it doesn't mean you are only selling the tangible products. So here the question is, what is tangible and what is intangible, right? So we usually say that tangible are the products which we can feel from our five senses, which we can see, which we can touch, or we can experience by our five senses. Whereas intangible, example, maybe the insurance, we cannot see insurance. If you have the bike insurance, if you have the car insurance, health insurance, you cannot see it, right? So that part is intangible. So retailer, what it do, it sells these product in a small quantity to the final consumers. So this is about the definition and the crucial aspects related to retailing. We have just discussed about what is the definition of retailing, and we have touched upon a little bit about its evolution. And now we'll be discussing the most crucial part for our retail students, that who is the ideal candidate to be a retail representative or the manager or the operational managers for retail. So the ideal candidates for retailing career is the person should be must be a people's person, I can say. Like whenever you see, if you go to any retail outlet, you have seen that retailers, they are very chirpy. They keep on talking to the customer. If customer is on their show, they do not want to leave without selling anything. So they should be very talkative. They should understand what customer requires, and they should also tell them these are the product. They do the upselling, cross selling, all these activities you should be knowing, so that you can sell your product. If I say one example to you, like if you are purchasing product for your wife, right? So customer is done with your deal is done. Another thing you can do is that, sir, we have another product which is very good and I'm sure your mother is going to like it, right? This way you are again selling another product to the same customer. So the person should be the person's person. He should be talkative, he should be very attentive what customer wants. Then the other thing is he must be flexible, right? Because nowadays, as we say, that customers are very demanding. Like if there is no pink color available, they may ask, sir, can I have a pink color dress for me or for my daughter? So in that way, you have to be very flexible. You have to manage the situation. You have to convince the customer that why go for pink? Pink is for everyone. Every girl likes pink. You should go for something else. And that convincing power that person should have. So that is about the flexibility about a retailer's representative. Then there is, he must be decisive. He should take decisions. What kind of assortment is best for their store, and what is kind of merchandise he should keep in his store, because ultimately targeting is important. As we always study this, targeting. So if you are good in targeting, only then you can sell your product best to your customers. Then analytical skills. I believe everyone is having analytical skills, but how to sharpen them is important. So in this course, retail operations, we always talk about analytics, because end of the day, you have to see how many products you have sold out and what kind of profits you are making and what can be the future demand for your products. So all this related to your analytics. Then there is something called as stamina. Why I call stamina? It's not like that you go to gym and do regular exercise for 4 or 5 hours. 4 or 5 hours you do not spend in gym, I believe. But when you are in retail outlets, you are going to spend around 7 to 8 hours just standing and moving around and selling your products. So it's very hectic for your physique. So you should be in a perfect shape so that you can do your job best. Because if you are not fit and you are doing the retailing operations work, maybe you are in a mall and where you have to continuously stand up, and if your physique is not good, you cannot manage that, because if your body is not good, you are not going to feel good and you may end up in next few days. So try to build your stamina so that you can do best for your job. So I think in this particular session we discussed about what is retailing, what is evolution, and what is the right person for retail operations. So I hope you have understood the various things related to retailing. So with this, I end up this session. Thank you, students.